Welcome to just the start of New York. New York just about started, and we've already taken a loss within here. We have the M15-minute swing being bullish, but we've calmed down and mitigated the 4-hour. And then we have our internal structure turning bullish, and this was for me a high probability POI, right here. There is some in here, but they're just a little bit more iffy than this one here, so I was comfortable taking a risk entry on this 15 POI. Did not work out. It is what it is, but as the session goes on, we'll probably be looking for buys within here maybe, or if we do move up and then come back in, we'll still be looking for buys. So basically Euro JPY, we are looking for buys. The Euro USD, not happy with the price action as of yet, so nothing really in here. We're still within this range over here. GBP USD in London, we had another internal breakout structure here. I was looking for the market to come into this pivot POI here. We did not get that. Instead, we sold off some more. So for now, either we come into this 4-hour, wait for it to shift bullish, then look for buys, or wait and see what happens once it trickles back up. If we do get like the M15-minute showing signs of switching bearish again, then we may still be happy to look for sells, but for now we're waiting. And USD CAD, okay, from that tiny internal structure I was speaking of yesterday, we are still playing within this range over here, and then I'm just waiting for it to either break up out of the range, which is what I most prefer because I am looking for buys. But if it does break lower, then maybe we could switch the buyers to sells. But for now, I hope it does break out of here, then we can look for buys. So for now, we're just sitting on our hands, nothing much. I think the closest we are in terms of good price action is GBP/USD for now, and Euro JPY, not USD, which is still selling off at this point. But if we do, for example, get it to come, let's say somewhere in here, and then we get a M15-minute chalk like that, and then we look for the buyers within here like this. Something like this would make sense, even though time-wise it's already 3. New York won't last that long. We have about 4 hours left. We do have about 4 hours left for this kind of price action to form. But yeah, for now we just keep an eye on it. Yep, peace. It's the end of the day. Probably should actually come up with an intro for one particular reason. I do not know. Anyway, it's the end of the day of this wacky Wednesday. It's not a winner's day for sure, you know, because I lost. Lol. Anywho, okay, I'm not doing a separate trade review of this. It's honestly gonna be like 2 minutes, and I think 2 minutes is worthy of a squeeze into this end of day look into the market, right? So for the idea, I think I briefly explained it earlier, but you've come into the 4-hour, After you come into this 4-hour extreme, your expectation will be for the market to start obviously being more bullish, right? Especially after you got the internal break of structure right here. You had an internal break of structure. Now with the assessments of where is it likely to continue its bullish move, right? I was not happy with anything in here, hence you can see once it did ultimately come into here, it ended up sweeping the low because there was no high probability POI within here. So I was comfortable actually taking this flip zone in here, which flipped off of this area over here. We have the flip. There's a clear inside bar right here. It's not really the pivot, but it is the inside bar. So yeah, we're just looking for the risk entry on the 60% pullback. We did not get, we got it, but it did like basically just sweep us out within 5 minutes. I'm pretty sure, not even 5 minutes, could have been like 2. Really, it could have been 2 minutes. Yeah, exactly. 2 minutes, 3 minutes, the trade was already a goner. Anyway, I think it wasn't a bad trade overall. The idea was okay, but as always, the market will do what the market does, which is be unpredictable to a certain extent. As of waiting for this sort of formation, I can say we are well within our rights to say we did get something similar, right? This green candle is a pullback. This is a pullback, and then it pushed down. This is during New York, and then we had a sweep of this, which would have been a chalk there, and then it came back in for the strong liquidation, just like I've drawn here. Go down, right? Create a low, and then we sweep the high right there. This here is the sweep, and then it comes back down. Wait a minute. Let me just draw this so that it actually makes sense in my head. So we had make this. Okay, I'm trying to gather my thoughts in my head. I want to make this wider so it makes a little bit more sense when I do draw it. Right, we have this move from up here, it comes down. We have the pause for this going up, we have it come down. This is a high that created a low, we sweep the high, and then we've come lower. Now our expectation is for this high to go, right? Once this high does go, we look to follow once this high does go, we look to follow the bullish plays, just like this. Is this the same as what I have drawn? It is not the same. It is not the same. What is this? This is a Head and Shoulders, fam. But this is the strong liquidation pattern you do look for. This, where a high that created a low was swept right, and then you sweep that low. That is the strong liquidation. And then once you break out of this high, you've swept now a strong high, right? Because it created a strong liquidation, and then you just look to continue the move up. That's basically what you're looking for. Oh, okay. I don't remember what this was about, because it was about just creating a chunk within here. But this is better because this is a strong liquidation. It shows much more of a bullish move. Also pairing it with the fact that you swept the low. So probably tomorrow for London, we're just looking for this high to go over. Wait, I'm going to remove this because I've spoken about it already. Tomorrow we just look for this high over here to go, right, and then start following that bullish momentum up. And that's pretty much it for Euro JPY. There isn't much really. We're just being very patient. This was a quote unquote terrible month in terms of decision making, whatever. But we'll touch on that on the Saturday or Sunday video. I just want to do a monthly recap and things to work on going into the next month. So we just try and not make the same mistakes. I think that's where the growth will come from. Just canceling out the mistakes should be enough to grow the your ROI, your graph, your profitability, whatever. But it should be not enough, but a start or a good start, whatever. I do say whatever a lot. I'm realizing that, but whatever. Okay, we go to Euro USD. Really, man, there's nothing in here. We're just waiting. Literally just waiting because trying to play within here it's just dangerous, man. It's just dangerous. There's no need to rush this. We have plenty of pairs to look at, plenty of movements. No need to get caught up looking at structure that is just not favorable for us. And GU, my beautiful GU, ultimately didn't come back and give me the move I was looking for, right? Which is okay. But now the perspective changes, right? We had the 50-minute boss. We had the 50-minute boss on Monday. This is the swing high. This is the swing high here. The internal was bearish to facilitate the swing pullback. Now we've come into a 4-hour zone, right? We've come into a 4-hour zone right here, which is also could be good for this. This looks like it's enough to be a 4-hour swing pullback. I'm not so sure about this tiny mitigation, right? We could see it come deeper into here. We could see it come deeper if this wants to work. We could see it come deeper into here, and then we start looking for the swing play, right? But for now we have mitigated this 4-hour, this range in here, so price could be ready to start going higher. But as always, the confirmation for that would be for the internal to shift bullish, but the internal is so close to, in fact that's the wrong internal high, it should be here somewhere. In fact it should be here. If I can just fucking touch it. Jesus, man. Okay, this is the actual internal high right here. So tomorrow, my guess is we'll probably be sitting on our hands, just because I don't want to trade like with maybe these little highs in here. If they go, do you want to look for that, right? If it sweeps that and it just starts moving like this, I don't know if I want to trade that compared to the internal high going, which shows that this is actually now starting to price in the 4-hour swing, the 15-minute swing as well. So it's higher probability price action probably you'll get within there in terms of the buys. But if we do get, let's say, something like this where it comes down here, this would be a nice high, and then once we break that high there, then we could start looking for the buys within here. Playing, it would be counter the internal, No, actually I'm lying. It wouldn't be counter internal because it would be an IBOS here. So the break of this would be an internal break of structure, which means you'd be playing pro the internal structure and pro swing, right? Which means it's much higher probability for the buys. It's where you want to be more risky, right? Take a little bit more risk in there. So yeah, but for now there's nothing much in there. Still monitoring. That is pretty much all we can do for now. We just wait for price to be a little bit more favorable. And then USD CAD finally chooses what it wants to do, which is to break this internal low and a break of the swing low here as well. For me, this does count, but in my experience as well, when it breaks and closes above on the very next candle, usually the break is not sustained, right? Usually the break is not sustained. So for this one, you also just remove this and we just focus on what is now the swing with this one. This just evolves to be swing structure and no longer just internal. But these tiny breaks, it's where you find it immediately pulls back in. If it does immediately pull back in, it's good for us. We just now start looking to maybe come into this 4 hour that creates also. Like here's another thing, you probably want to see it create an actual low, right? Not just a sweep, for you to say this is a high probability zone for a bearish continuation. So for now, you hope that during the Asian session it does close below at some point, does close below. But if it comes into here, this would be a zone that failed to create a low, so its strength would be questionable. Hence, I'm saying, like in my experience, whenever it closes below but quickly comes back in, usually is bad. For like the cells, it usually does buy. Maybe this will be enough to stop it, we don't know as of yet. So all we can do really is wait as always. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I will be trading London tomorrow. Usually I don't do London analysis because these days there is no London moves really. It's usually later coming into New York, hence I always start my breakdowns with New York. But if there's anything interesting, then we'll look into it. And yeah, that's it. Peace.